Hey, everybody, welcome back for day 44 of 100 Days of Halloween. Where has the week gone? I cannot believe it is Thursday already. So, for those of you who are new here, real quick rundown of what I'm doing, as well as some Yarny friends are doing for the 100 Days of Halloween. And if you hear a lot of thunder, loud, yeah, we are having a thunderstorm right now. I'm not sure how much you're going to pick up on this recording. But anyhow, so my friend Ranee and Yarny Sis over at the Woolly Llama Shop had been discussing with several of us on one of her lives. She was wanting to do a fall or Halloween themed blanket for the 100 Days of Halloween. And to make it easier, since she lives in the South and so do a lot of other people, and you don't want to do a major blanket undertaking of something that's going to get really huge real fast because of the heat, she decided it would be a great idea to do a block a day for the 100 days. So each block would be approximately 6 inches by 6 inches. And each block would have either some kind of fall or Halloween theme motif, applique, design, color, what have you. I thought it was a brilliant idea. I'd been wanting to make a blanket for the last several years, just had been too busy with lifey stuff, never got the chance. So I was like, yes, 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 I will join you. There was several of us that joined in solidarity for this endeavor, and we are having a blast. Um, Rainey and I, as far as I know, are the only ones making blankets. If some of you guys are making them, we have not been told what your projects are yet. I have had people tell me that they are working on squares. I just don't know what capacity because we haven't gotten any pictures or updates yet, and we are anxiously awaiting to see those when we finally do. So if you are making something, get your pictures in. Even if it's not finished, we want to see progress. Even if it's just squares. Um, so anyhow, um, we started this back in July for the 100 Days of Halloween, and so far, so good. We are on day 44. And what Rainey's doing is different than what I'm doing, even though we're all doing, and what Nova's doing is different, and what Patricia has been doing is different. Rainey, as she puts it, she shook the interwebs and shook out all kinds of squares and blocks and appliques that were Halloween or fall themed. And she compiled this list, and everything on her list correlates with a number that she is drawing at random from her jack-o'-lantern, jinxed jack-o'-lantern of joy. And she is providing you with a free tutorial, pattern, whatever from the interwebs every single day when she draws out of the pumpkin. And those are the squares that she has been working on. I, on the other hand, have been going more on inspiration, creative inspiration, whatever takes over my brain that day, basically. And that was basically what has been going on the square, if it's not already a designed square or colorway theme or whatever. And recently, about a week and a half ago, I think it was, I had compiled pretty much all of my squares. And since then, all of the squares are ready for the blanket. All 100 are done. Just a lot of them needed, because they're blank, need some love with either an applique or some kind of motif, whatever. So we started putting them into the Boo Box of Fate, and we're drawing the squares at random on the daily now, so we can see which square we're going to be working on for the next day. And whenever I'm putting something on my squares, if there is a written pattern on somebody's blog post or it's a video tutorial, I'm keeping a running tab for the group of 10 that I am currently working on. And like, say today is day 44. If there was some kind of tutorial for what went on my square, that will be put into the description box for said square. Um, so Rainey is doing a video pretty much almost every day, but she does have a pretty tight work schedule on the weekends. She works a lot. So she kind of combines her Friday, Saturday, and Sunday together on Friday. And she draws the additional themes for the weekend while she's working as well on Friday. I myself have been dropping every day. So far, so good. Let's hope we can keep up the momentum. And then Nova is basically doing a project update pretty much every week ish. She is not making a blanket, she is making wearables for herself and some very dear littles in her life. Patricia has already done an update video. She has already completed her fall themed project. I'm not sure if she's going to be making any more because I know she's got a lot of stuff going on as well. And her video information is in the description box as well. So go check out her completed project, which gave me inspiration for a similar kind of project later on. Not sure when I'm going to get to it yet, but um it was really amazing. I was like excited when I saw her project. So, currently on day 44. So that means we have finished our first several groups of 10. We went through 1 through 10, done. There there are video shorts for each group of 10 we've already completed. So it's kind of like a recap before I start putting them in my blanket. So 1 through 10 is done, 11 through 20 is done, 21 through 30 is done, and 31 through 40 is done. And we are now working on 41 through 50. So once we complete this group of 10, we are going to be halfway finished with the 100 Days of Halloween blanket. Wow. I'm like, only 6 more to go, guys, and we'll be halfway there. So, wow. So what have I been working on for these past several days for this group of 10? Let's do a quick recap before we get to today's square. So day 41, we pulled out this spiral square, which was from the Sirdar Halloween blanket make along. I'm not sure if you can still get access. You should be able to over at sirdar.com. Um, I was playing around with it, kind of practicing because I was waiting on my kit to get here. And then it kept getting delayed during the shipping process. And by the time it got here, it was so late, we were already knee deep into this Halloween blanket. So that blanket project will wait for another day. And I'm not mad about it because I'm having so much fun with this one that I don't want to stop. So that was day 41. And then on day 42, we had drawn at random for day 42 square this really bright, deep orange. And we started doing something. I was writing down all of you guys' suggestions for your guesses for the following day squares. And there was one that kept popping into my head because it was being guessed over and over and over again, and I could not get it out of my head. And so I searched the interwebs, could not find a free applique for it. And so I freehanded yet again. And I just did some triangles, some squares. I think I did a rectangle, a circle ish, 2 circles. And I came up with the haunted house that kept popping up in guesses. And all it was a square, 2 tiny squares with the little cross hatches for the windows, a rectangle, and then this was, I mean, that was triangle. Sorry, guys. Um, then a rectangle, a little circle with another crosshatch for the window, another triangle on top of that, and a circle for the full moon, which I put the bats on. But by the time I put it all together and I was looking at it, it looked like a kind of a smirky smile on the moon. And I like it. I think it's so cool. And then, of course, because it's on a house, you gotta have a ghostie coming out. So it was all freehanded, no pattern. I might at some point try and go back and figure it out and write it down. I'm not sure yet because once I get into the zone, I'm not writing anything down. So There we go. So then on day 43's square draw for the random square, we pulled out this one that was the Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo in neon stripes. And I played around with several of the appliques because I've been trying to make some in advance here and there that I think might work on squares when they get drawn. And everything was kind of getting lost in the colors. So at the end of the day, after several hours of playing around with it, I decided I was just going to leave it blank and let the colors shine through. And that's what we did. So then that was yesterday's. So yesterday, the square we drew at random was this vibrant, like hot fuchsia pink, sparkly square, which we'd used one earlier in the blanket quite a while ago, actually. I don't remember what was on it. We would have to look at the blanket. Um, and so I was like, what are we going to put on it? What are we going to put on it? So, with all the suggestions of you guys that when you were guessing, I had been writing them down and putting them in this container that's been living on a shelf in my living room because we keep forgetting to put it away every Halloween. Oh well. Um, and we're not going back out to the shed to dig out Halloween totes just to put one container in. So it's been staying in there. We're like, well, I'll get it next year. Well, it's been in there like 3 Halloweens. So yeah, it gets forgot. So I pulled it down off the shelf and we're going to use it because there's never been anything in it. Never. So I had written all the guesses and all that down on little pieces of paper. And I've been putting your guys' names on them that have been guessing those things. And I figured some of the blank squares that we draw at random, I could try and try being the key word, your guesses. Some of them, maybe I can do, some of them, I don't know. But we can always try. And if it's an epic fail, then, I can always put something else on it. So, what did we draw yesterday for that hot pink sparkly fuchsia square? Well, my Uncle Lyndon and Nessa over at Infinitely a Zero had guessed a mummy. So, and I wrote on the back of it yesterday so I'd remember what day we drew it for square, for 44 square. So, I was like, how am I going to do this mummy? So, I was searching the interwebs for a free pattern, really nothing for an applique. I could find some like dolls, amiguramis, and they were kind of iffy. And so, well, I guess I'm gonna have to like make a body shape kind of, and then maybe chain in white yarn and then just wrap it. So I was playing around with it and I came up with this little body shape right here. And then I made this really long, tight chain and started to wrap it. And I was like, this thing, if I keep wrapping it to make it look like a mummy, is going to look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, um, because it's yarn and it was a chain. So I was like, okay, ripped it all out. And I was like, maybe just wrap the yarn. It was too skinny. It was going to look weird. So I had a brilliant idea. So then I had to nix this body and go with white because this is more like a body. I wanted it so you could like see like eyes and a little mouth underneath the wrapped. So since that didn't work out with this one, I may use this later at some point for maybe a voodoo doll. I don't know on the blanket. It's a thought. I don't know yet. We will figure it out or figure out a way to put a costume on it for like a trick or treater. I don't know. So this is going into the pile of unused appliques to become something maybe at some point. So I started from scratch again. And guys, since I drew this out of the jar yesterday, I have been working on it pretty much nonstop and ignoring everything in my life basically until right before I started recording this video. Yeah, this one really got me and had me using my critical thinking skills and creativity thinking skills on how can I do this and manipulate it to look like a mummy. And unfortunately, there's no way I'm going to be able to do that with all of the appliques that get drawn because it is way too time consuming. And if it's going to be something like that, there's no way I possibly can do them all like that because I'm not getting anything else done. So, but we continued. And so I did another basic body out of white. I had to sit and figure out how I did it, which wasn't too hard. It wasn't too bad. Because I just did a little circle with a few rounds. And then I think I chained five or six, and then just started going around to make a body shape. And once I got approximately to where I wanted it, then I just chained out and then single crocheted down to make the arm. Went over, did the same thing for the second arm, came down and did a leg and came over and slip stitch in the next one, did another leg with the same amount of chains and single crochet up and then up. And that was how we got the body shape. So I did another one in white. And I was like, maybe that'll look better with the chained, and I'm sure you can probably hear the storm. Um, with chained white yarn. Nope. So back to the drawing board. Then I got a brilliant idea. So I had to dig and dig and dig because I couldn't remember where some certain supplies were. So what did Missy do for this mummy after she did another body in white? And I know that's a long story to get to where we're at for square 40, day 44, but I had to tell you what led up to it. So I dug and dug and dug for some supplies, and we got out the trusty hot glue gun. Yes. And if you guys need a smaller portable, I have multiples of this in case. My other glue guns didn't last very long. And so when I bought this one, it's the Sure Bonder. I bought two of them just in case. And this one's still going strong 2 years later. And I use it for everything. So I got the Gorilla Glue sticks out, my Sure Bonder. And you're like, why in the world did you need a glue gun? Hot glue gun. Missy, what are you doing? Well, there was a reason. And I'm going to show you why. Since the chain method on yarn was not working and I couldn't wrap it with just single yarn, nothing was working and it didn't look right. So I was digging through some craft supplies and I came up with this. It's I think it's 1/8 inch. Yeah, 1/8 inch double faced satin ribbon. And it's from Walmart right here. So if you guys are going to try and replicate this mummy, there's the info for the ribbon. And it's just the really skinny one in white. And so I started wrapping the little white body here and there. And on the back, I would put like a little trail, teeniest trail of glue to affix it so it wasn't slipping and sliding. And then when I would come to the front, I was putting little droplets here and there. I didn't want a whole bunch. And this is what we came up with. There is our mummy. And our mummy is carrying one of those pumpkin buckets because our mummy is trick-or-treating. So there we go. And I did use white yarn to sew him on around the edges, going back and forth, as you can see, so that he is on there. And I just took some scrap black and put a little stitch there and a little stitch there for an eye and a little stitch in between for a mouth. I made sure I left little holes so you could put those in. And he's holding the tail of his wrap. So there is my mummy. What do you guys think? Um, I know it's kind of a little cheat with the ribbon, but the ribbon worked the best because it was the right width and I could manipulate it. And yeah. So there was your suggestion for the mummy or your guesses and his little pumpkin bucket. There we go. And it's on the hot pink. So I know. I wish you guys could see it the way I see it. It's a little cooler in person. But yes, he is all wrapped up. So that was day 44. And I'm telling you, this took me the better part, except for when I was having dinner, cooking dinner, eating dinner with Brian. And I took a little break last night for about an hour and a half because I was getting a headache from racking my brain. And then went back to work on it this morning. So there we go. All righty, guys. Um, this has already been 21 minutes, and the majority of it was talking about day 44 square. This one was a journey. This one was definitely a journey. So I'm kind of proud that it finally came together because if I was almost last night so ready to scrap it and say, nope, we're not doing it. Nope. Because I just didn't want to do a head. That would have been too easy, and maybe I should have. I don't know, but I think it turned out cute. So let's draw another square at random for tomorrow for day 45 and see what we're working with. All right, guys. Oh my goodness. Ooh, okay. We're working with some color. Again, this one's got a lot more darker in the middle. So we might be able to do something with that. Um, we're not going to draw a random suggestion today because that one nearly did me in last night. We'll wait. And this one's not a solid square. So this is what we're working with. This is one of the squares that was made with a skein of the Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo Stripes in the color of Brights. Because if you remember, I made a whole bunch of the with one skein because I just kind of got like in the zone of how the colors were working out and how cool they looked. So that's going to be for day 45. And now my brain's going to go into overdrive. What can we do with it? Because we do have, and it's not all black. As you can see, that's pretty much the black. And this is kind of like a midnight purple that's going around it before it goes into like a more vibrant purple and then goes into like this like a almost a grape, vibrant grape, and then turns into this fuchsia pink and then this red. So there we go. Day 45 square. So come back tomorrow for day 45 to see what we've done with the square. And go check out, if you have not already, my Yarny friends and sisses. There's a bunch of them listed in the description box. They all have a lot of cool content. They're very creative, and I'm 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 just happy that I can call them my Yarny friends and sisses. And yeah, so we haven't added any more squares to the blanket yet because we are waiting to finish this group of 10 so that I have enough to go all the way from the bottom all the way up through the top to make I believe we're going to be working on our 9th row. Yeah, I think it's our 9th row. And Then once we do that, we will do another little update. And I just realized that I did not get the video up for the group of 10 recap for 31 through 40 because I got fixated on our mummy. So there we go. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go because this is long enough and leave you with these parting words. Life is not perfect, so be kind. Try and create something new every day, no matter how much you want to pull your hair out, and keep reaching for the stars in your yarn. So until next time, guys, I love you bunches. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.